Hey guys, it's State Representative Raghib Allie-Brennan here. I am at Apex Community in Danbury with my friend Alyssa. We're here to mark National HIV Testing Day, which is on June 27th. So I'm here to bring awareness and to get tested today because it's important to get tested regularly. And there's a lot of good benefits in getting detected early because you can prevent some of the bad downsides of not getting tested and not knowing. So we're gonna get tested now, and you can see how quick the process is.
Yep.
And so
cool. So I'll walk you through everything as I go. So one of the first things that we would do even before I start testing you is having you sign a consent form.
Okay.
So the consent form essentially goes through what HIV is, what happens if your test comes back negative, and what we would do if it comes back positive, what our next steps would be. And then essentially saying, hey, are you okay with being tested at all? So we want to make sure you consent with the process for being tested before we go through with the process. Once that's signed, then I would start the process. So we're going to do that now.
Okay.
And this is the HIV test itself. You have a stick that shows a test line, and then it's also got a control line.
Okay.
So the control line, when we go through it, I'll show you, it will show up always. If it doesn't show up, that's going to be a test that we're going to have to retake.
Okay.
And then if it comes back preliminary reactive, that second line will show up.
Gotcha.
So it's a pinprick, just like if you were doing a diabetes pinprick. So it's super easy, and then it's going to go in here.
Awesome.
So I am going to take your non-dominant hand. This one. And are you okay with me doing your middle finger?
Yes.
Perfect. So the first thing we want to do is obviously make sure that your finger is clean. And the lancet's super quick. It's not reusable, so as soon as it's done, we can't use it again.
Awesome.
All right, I'm gonna do super quick, ready, and go.
Ow! No.
See, super easy. Sorry if anybody doesn't like blood, just look away. See, yours was easy too. Some people that we get that come in, their fingers are much harder to get.
Oh. Hear that, Mom?
All right, perfect. So then it's just a little bit. We put it in there. Once that's done, want to make sure that we get the blood off, and then we'll do.
And so is this one of the home?
So this is very similar to the home test. The home test that we do is actually an oral swab, but it uses the same. It's OraQuick also does the home test. So it's set up the same way. So we do the home test as well for people who aren't comfortable coming in because of the COVID-19 pandemic. All right, so you're all set.
Thank you.
And then the next thing we want to do is put the swab into this guy, and then I'm going to take this and move it to the side. That way you and our next steps would be me talking about what you know about HIV, some risks, say, we have open conversation because usually the door would be closed. It's confidential, so we'd be able to have that conversation of who were your last partners, did you have any unprotected sex, do you have any known risks, things like that, so we can have that conversation of ways for you to reduce your harm in the future when it comes to being exposed to HIV.
Awesome. And so that's like already ready. You could
20 minutes from
20
now.
minutes, okay.
Right,
right,
so now that that's in there, we let it sit for the 20 minutes, and that's the time we'll be having the conversations. We fill out a short confidential survey for the CDC, and then confidential personal information things, so that we have a way to contact you after if we ever need to, and say it's preliminary positive. That also gives us that contact information, so then from there we can help get you into services and stuff like that.
And if I have questions about other things like what's PrEP and other types of things, we can have those conversations
for those
in the meantime.
referrals and things like that. Yeah.
And so you guys are open right now during the pandemic, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so what are your hours? And you guys are on West Street. What's the actual address for this location?
So this location is 83 West Street.
83 West Street. And so what are your hours that people can come in? Did they have to
We're
call ahead of
open
time?
Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Okay.
and we are doing appointments and walk-ins.
Okay, awesome.
So at this point, we're letting people walk in. One of the first things we do when they walk in is make sure that they have a mask. If they don't, we give them one. We ask them if they've had any symptoms for like COVID, so fever, things like that. If their family has been exposed to COVID-19, then we take their temperature. From there, we ask them to wash their hands, make sure that once that's done, we obviously have our masks, we're washing our hands, maintaining the distance the best that we can. And then from there we go, whether it's for our SSP program or them coming in to get tested, go through that process.
And who should get tested?
Honestly, everyone.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was like, that's a trick question.
Yes, yeah. So you hear that, everybody? No, it's not just certain communities. Everyone should be getting tested if you're having, sex regularly or even infrequently. It's good to get tested and to know your status. Sometimes you never know how something could happen. So, but anyway, I guess that's it. I mean, we're gonna wait a little bit for the results, but just wanted to show how quick and easy it is and how safe and clean, especially during a pandemic. But it's important that you get tested. So, thank you.